Hajime Boku wa JD desu. Hey everyone out there in YouTube land. We did it. We broke 500 subs after 2,000 years of not producing comments, so I'm very happy about that. Welcome to my house. This is virtually an unedited version of my house. I did clean today, but not for this video. I just realized that we passed 500 subs. So I wanted to address it, and I wanted to make a video. I mean, roughly what we're seeing in this picture is, you know, an ugly-ass old guy with a lukewarm beer. And then, of course, there's the obligatory first aid kit mounted on the wall. A few random LEDs, security monitor, wall map, a bunch of phones. If you know what I do for a living, phones are all over my house. In case it's not obvious, yes, I'm a telecommunications engineer. I haven't shaved in 2 weeks. Well, a day or two under 2 weeks I haven't shaved. The reason why I'm mentioning it, mentioning it, is because, you know, a decade ago I said, hey, on a video on YouTube. I said, hey, if I pass 500 subs, I'll shave everything from the neck up. Now, it's not kempt, it's not cool, it's not clean, but this is everything I have from the neck up. You know, I'm not hairy on the chest. You don't have to worry about that. I got 3 hairs on my chest somewhere. You don't want to see them. I have eyebrows. So when I issued that statement, I meant it. The thing is, the current year is 2023. It's December 24th, 2023. When I issued that statement, I believe I was still monetized. So that would have put it 2017. And then in, what was it, June of that year, if you had less than 1,000 subs, you lost monetization. That's roughly the same time that I lost interest. Like, yeah, over the years, I've done a handful of videos, and I've talked crap, and I've done my thing. But let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. I'm not shaving. I'm not shaving, and I'm not shaving. And yes, anyone listening, it includes the eyebrows. Literally, Adam's apple up. But I'm changing the ultimatum because 2017 to 2023, not only have I changed, grown, and lived, the world has too. With my current job, I see people, I engage with people on a different level than I used to. So if you want Adam's apple up, 2 months. If I hit 1K subs inside of the next 2 months, I'll do a live stream. I'll set all this crap up to where you can see me shave with my electric razor. It's not going to be a smooth shave with straight razor or any of that. It's going to be an electric razor, no guard, buzz. I might have to have someone come in and help me do the head. We'll find out, right? The lighting right now is horrible. Anyway, so that is not the point of the video. The point of the video is going to be, actually, I'm going to show you how to do coax cable, not coax. Cat5, Cat6, doesn't matter what category the cable is, it's all the same cable. But yeah, 2 months from today, so February, my calendars are set up into February. Hold on. January. I've got 3 calendars for this crap. What is it? We don't even get. Yeah, we get to the end of the February. All right, we'll call it February 2024, Saturday the 24th. 1K subs. I'm at 517 at the moment. You do the math. That's where we are. You get a shave. Alright, so I'm going to be running my head now about category 5 or 6 cable. Category 6 cable has better, we would call it attenuation in the business. Meaning it would carry signal better with less loss. It doesn't change. Here's the thing. Because I've had this misconception. So the length of PoE, what is it? Is it 300 meters? I'm gonna have to Google this shit. I'm not Googling it. It doesn't change the length that power over Ethernet, PoE, will travel. It's the loss that you experience. So basically, now I know the numbers. It's 300 and 550. So I think it's 300 meters and 550 feet. If memory serves. Anyway, so at 300 meters, if you have a large draw device, a Wi-Fi repeater that requires 30 watts of PoE voltage to work, it will still work at 300 meters. On Cat 5e or below Cat 6, that shouldn't work. I mean, it does. I've seen it work. But I call that occasionally work. Is it 300 feet? I can't remember the exact numbers now. I know I ran 3 outlets recently at 298 feet, and I quoted it under 300 feet. And the guy that hooked up his test equipment, he was very amazed, not shocked, but he was amazed and whatever. He was happy it fell under 300 feet, like my quote. But was it 300 feet? I think that was just a request. Anyway, whatever. Cat 6 will carry the signal further with less attenuation. It doesn't mean it's going to work beyond 300 meters or feet or whatever it should be. You can, yes, have some things function acceptably beyond the non-extended, the just straight copper cable run. And then you can extend it further with a PoE injector. I think currently the standard is up to 1600 feet, 1660 feet. Well, that's divide that by 4 because you can use 4 PoE extenders. Divide 1660 by 4, that's what we got. Anyway, I'm not doing math. I'm just saying numbers. So, let's go back to cutting this cable. Now, the other difference people will say is that you'll get faster speeds off of a Cat 6 versus a Cat 5. Well, I call bullshit on that. You can't see me, my chair's blocking. I was looking right at the camera for dramatic effect. I call bullshit on that, mainly because I've tested it. It is not just your cable. The cable can help, but it isn't a factor of this, right? So I've got Cat 5e right here. And I'll go up against anybody with this if y'all want to throw money at me. If you want to make a bet, and we'll put money in a trust. I don't care. This is Cat 5e, and I've just spent the last 2 weeks, including weekends, running Cat 6, Cat 6 Plenum, the whole 9 yards. Everyone went, oh, we got to do it. We got to do this. That's fine. I don't care. A customer or client wants me to run Cat 3. I'll do it. Although it's like the difference between Cat 5 and Cat 3 in price is pennies on the foot. Okay. You want to run Cat 3 instead? Cool. I'll do it. I mean, you're buying it. Why do I care what the time I spend is? Now, the argument for the Cat 6 runs I did, oh, we want to future-proof. It's a good argument. I agree with it. I love it. I want to future-proof. I want to be ready for the future. Cool. Brilliant. Genius. Now, we upgraded their internet also. I'm not going to say what it was, but it was upgraded. Fine. Brilliant. Perfect. Why aren't we seeing the speeds? Because your Cisco router, your Cisco firewall, your Cisco switch, all of it, are 10100. They're not gigabit networks. This will run a gigabit network, Cat 5. Cat 5 was running gigabit network before there was a fucking Cat 5e. I know because I did it, I see it, I do it. I've had it, I run on it. Not now, but it is possible. So, if you really, like you just want to do the best of the best, that's fine. But don't come at me with you have to use Cat 6. Because, you know, in a year there's going to be Cat 7 or Cat 6e or whatever. There's going to be another acronym where the copper's less cladded. The copper is slightly thicker, but it still fits all of my connectors exactly. I've literally had a box of connector for 5 years. They're feed-throughs. I use the same ones. You don't have to have the special Cat 6 slide down push-up shield. That's a thing. That's a different thing. It still works, and I can prove it. You can prove it. I don't have to prove it. You can prove it. Test it. Try it. There's no one going out to where they have a complete Cat 6 environment and they have a full gigabit switch installed because it's a lot of money. But even in those environments where it's a new build and they have the gigabit switch, the 10, 100, 1000 switch, that's what those numbers mean in case you wonder what I'm talking about. On your switch, you'll see either 10, 100 or 10, 100, 1000. The 1000 is the gigabit. And yes, a gigabit is more than 1000, but that's the capability of switch. That's how it's labeled. So, you'll see that. You'll see a gigabit switch, Cisco switch, Cisco firewall, all of it, gigabit capable. Draytech 3200, the ones I install. You know, when I'm asked to do it, and they don't care if it's Cisco or Sonic Wall or what. Throw it in. Awesome, let's get it in. The thing is, none of them want to go through and switch out all 500 of their 6 8-inch jumpers that connect their switch to their punch-down panel. Also, they're not interested, in some reason, in switching out the Cat 6 versus the Cat 5 words. I should have scripted something. I would have had words. Let me pull out a bag of them if I have one. The simple words that I don't have. Here's a bag. I got some right here. It will tell me. There we go. Cat 5 jacks, commercial electric. Awesome. It doesn't even tell me faintly tell me the word I'm looking for. The oh my God, these things, people. They go into wall plates. They go, oh my God, the name's not on there either. Okay, maybe I'll remember, maybe not. You know what it is. These are Cat 5. They don't go through and replace all of these on the panel. Words still escape me. They don't replace all these in the wall outlet and at the punch down panel. They don't, and they don't replace the jumpers, the 6, 8, 10-inch jumpers between the panel and the router. They still get gigabit speeds. Why don't they replace those? Why, if this exclusively provides that service, why don't they replace them? Short answer is they don't. Over long distances, yes. You want to replace Cat 5 with Cat 6. And by long distances, I mean something exceeding 200 feet. If I have a stringent customer, I say that it's 150 feet. We have to replace all of them over 150. Because yes, you're going to see over 125 feet, you're going to see different speeds on Cat 5 versus Cat 6. Now, that is the stringent. Like, you're using measuring devices, not just checking my computer's internet speed. You're using measuring devices. You're going to see a different attenuation and a different resistance. But as far as like, oh, I hooked my laptop up and the speeds aren't 1 gigabit, well, that's not going to happen. If you're connected to anything other than the modem, I'll argue this too. I want you to prove it to me at your facility if you want to argue it, especially for any type of wager. Mainly because I've seen it 1,000 times. Like literally, I've installed 1,000 gigabit services. More than that, but I've seen it 1,000 times. I've installed more than 10,000 of these motherfuckers. So yes, let's sit down and argue about it. Or debate it, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, on to the actual purpose of the video after what, 20 minutes? 18 minutes? Well, the purpose of the video is to talk about 500 subs. And that in the future, I'm going to start releasing more video. And I've already said this about me doing the things that I do professionally. And I should have recorded the last 2 weeks. Jesus, I was crawling through attics. I was throwing, drop tiles out of the way, moving very possibly asbestos tiles. Full mask, leather gloves, washed up after. I'm certain it was asbestos. I showed a new guy that has been doing the job for 3 months. I was like, hey, this could be asbestos. You see the pattern, you see the crystals, blah blah blah. Don't breathe it. You're fine. Leave the room. I got to do this. But I showed him what asbestos could look like. So in the future, I will definitely be recording what I do at work, and I'm not one of those anal retentive like the electrician videos where all the lines, there's like 30 lines there in a row and they're all spaced out, and they're all super colored. I use colors. I use a lot of colors, but I'm colorblind, so it doesn't matter as much to me. It's more for the next guy. But yeah, no, I run it rough, and I get it done for a price that people like. You want to pay me an additional 30% to get it done, like where it's perfectly fitting some, some dude, some chick, somebody on TikTok or whatever. I'll do it, but most people don't want to pay the extra money for that extra cleanliness. I get them out of the way. I get the lines to where you still have slack. I get them under the length they have to be for everything to work like it should. And they love it. I've been, I had brain surgery about a year ago. I was requested to go to Florida, Naples, Florida, for a job at a hotel. And, of course, I was on the call. I was in the hospital. And I said, I would love to go, but we'll have to send a technician because I can't. I'm not. I'm in the hospital. I had a surgery. I'll be medically released in March. No, that's fine. We'll wait for you. The hotel experienced a hurricane. Their first floor was unusable. They waited for me, and they were fully booked. Everything above the first floor, 100% booked the entire time. They waited for me. So that's, yes, I don't make it the prettiest thing you've ever seen, but people like me, because I come in, their printer doesn't work, I fix it. Their phone doesn't work, I fix it. Their entire internet doesn't work, I fix it. That's what people want. People don't care if these lines are strung up in perfect perpendicular or horizontal. We got 30 of these lines all together perfectly, or in a perfect bundle. No one, not one manager has ever cared. What they care about is after I run this line, does it work, and do they have to call me again? If they don't, that's why they waited 3 months for me to come out and run a fucked up line that's twisted around another line, and it looks kind of stupid, but it works, and it's not broken, bleeding, or burning. Alright, so let me grab a tool. We're going to start out with some simple crap. We're going to do the stripping thing. I've seen this on YouTube and TikTok and whatever. We're going to do, tool's not in there. What about this bag? Tools in one of these bags. We're going to do a basic strip. And I've seen these videos because I'm coming up. And we're going to do this. I'm going to be jumping back and forth because my tools are behind me. But, so, you got a line. Hold on, let's do this. Got my foot and my feet and my foot. There we go. More light. There you go. So we're changing now from where you see me to where you see my beer, my cigarettes, and my french fries, and ashtray, and all the fun stuff. So, you got a line. This is Cat5. Cat5e to be specific. I don't know if you can read that. It doesn't matter. It is 24 AWG Cat5e UTP. So, in these videos, I see people do this. They put on their stripper, right? They let their stripper just holds on by itself. And then they'll do the spin thingy. Now, I've seen them do that spin thing. They pull it off. Cool. Nice. Now, that's bullcrap. Here's the thing. You should only need to spin it once. Right in my ashtray, so that smokes really good later. You should only need to spin it once. You've got a sharp one. If you don't have a sharp one, replace the blade. Pop it on. This is the top. So you know right where the top is. You can even put your thumb there. Once you get used to doing it, you're just going to naturally know where the top is. And then you're going to rotate it one time. Then you're going to pull it the fuck off. it's the same result. You have nothing in here. This should be completely fucking empty. If this line, this pull line, if that pull line comes off, you can see it if you look really good. If that pull line falls off, if you can't fucking tug on it, you cut through the shield into the pull line. That means you also scored all of the exterior parts of the center conductors. All right, that will corrode. That will let moisture in. It's no longer shielded. It's no longer, it's being exposed to elements. Moisture will get in. Humidity will get in. That also means if you work with it too much, let me use the other hand so you can see what I'm doing. If you work the line too much, it'll just break because it's already cut. It might be a super tiny cut, but that's you going back in a year or 2 years because that corroded and their internet stopped working, or this brown one corroded and their PoE stopped working. Or if you're doing telephones, because you can use this same fucking line for analog telephones over an ATA or whatever system you use, well, that corrodes through fairly quickly, especially if it's anywhere near aluminum. And there you go, and you're back within a year. Now, sure, yeah, maybe you make a couple of bucks on that repair, but you fucked it up in the first place. Anyway, so in case you don't know, the way we did it, because we didn't always have a tool that was exactly measured, and if you don't have a tool that is exactly measured to cut that shield easily, I'm going to show you something else we used to do. All right, so you cut it with your pocket knife. Let's say you just whip out your pocket knife. You're like, you know what? I don't know where my tool is, and you just cut it with your pocket knife, right? You slightly score it. You have a little score, small score, and then you can just pull that off. And as long as you didn't score it on the pull string, you're golden. Because the pull string's intact, right? So you're going to put your pocket knife away because you're in an attic or whatever, and you don't want to forget your pocket knife or drop it in the insulation. So now you scored that with your knife. You probably cut at least 1 or 2 of these, conductors. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab that conductor. All right, so this conductor is now trash because you cut it with a tool you don't trust, or you cut it with a pocket knife that you don't trust. And you're like, I want to make sure this is perfect. So then you take needle nose. They don't have to be the ones for crimping down telephone red dots and green dots or whatever. But you grab it with the needle nose, and don't grab it with your finger. This is one thing. You grab this line with your finger. It is literally designed to cut through this. If it snags, you're cutting into your finger. It's worse than a paper cut. Trust me. Been there, done that. Don't do it. So you got that. And you'll see that you're pulling against the casing. And as you actually... Oh, hold on. I screwed up. Before I continue, I have to do this because this is a short one. So I've cut it here. I've cut it here so it's loose. I could feel when I started to pull on it, I could feel it pulling through there. So what we're going to do is just tie that up so it doesn't do that anymore. So that I can properly show you this. Because I could have just pulled that entire string out of this short length of cable. Anyway, so you got your trash line, and then you're going to do what I was just telling you. You're going to grab it with your needle nose. You're going to wrap it around once, 2, 3 times, whatever you feel comfortable with. And then it's just like butter. It's cutting through that shielded jacket. Now, how far you do that is up to you. I prefer a good 4 to 6 inches. There's a reason for that. It doesn't matter. It's not something you have to worry about. That's what I like. I would say at least do 3 fingers. And I've went probably 2 fingers beyond that. So you let that go. And what you do next, let me grab a proper tool for this. Oh, I don't have to go far. I've got it right here. So what you do next, right here, you've cut it. So, all right, so we know we're not going to use anything outside of that. Snip it off. And these are Southwire telephone snips. They work perfect for this. And then you can't cut this with your scissors, that little pull string that you left. And it's up to you. If you want to leave it, that's fine. I'm not a fan of it being there because, you know, it's just in the way. It's dangly. It's there. But if you want to leave it there in case you have to recut that connector, that's fine. I don't do that. You can't cut it like a scissor though, because these aren't scissors. These cut through metal. What you do though is just push it. And as you push it, it's just going to cut it away. And there's your line. It's cut, it's gone. You pushed it, it went away. And then you're going to remove the sheath and expose your conductors. Now none of these are cut, none of these are exposed, none of these are in danger. And then snip off, and then drop your cable. Snip off your shield, and then pick up the cable you dropped. Now you have these little bad boys to work with. You're golden. You're ready to do your first either I almost remember the names of these damn things. Which I'm not showing you how to do one of these because these are paint by numbers. These, I can't remember the name of them. You know the name of them. Pop it in the comments. But these bad boys are literally paint by numbers. And I had this debate with another engineer because they've never really done this before. On here, you will have on both sides, it has colors. And you want to use A. It's going to be labeled A and B. Always use A. It's paint by numbers. You put the solid with the solid. You put the white with the white blue or the white brown or the white orange or the white green with the associated white of that color. It's super simple. They even, like with this, I picked this up at Home Depot or Lowe's. They even include, like, you don't have to have a proper punch down tool because they include this dumb shit. This is a little plastic punch down tool. It's awesome. I'm not using it. I don't use those. I've thrown them away because this is just a piece of plastic and you can't do the thing. Now, although I'm not going to show you how to do these, I'm going to show you how these are done. First thing is, I'm going to grab my punch down tool, and that's a toner. I don't need a toner. Punch down tools in one of these damn bags. Might as well go ahead and grab this tool because we'll need it. And there's my punch down tool in another bag. I keep them separate because one is networking, one is telephone. Typically a punch down tool is for telephone. That's why I'm not really going to show you this because, I mean, keystone jack. God, there's the word keystone jack. For a keystone jack, that's typically the only time during networking is when you're going to use a punch down tool. Because otherwise you're going to be using a pass-through connector. Or you can literally hate yourself and not use a pass-through connector. That's up to you. So I'm going to pull out one pass-through. That's a pass-through connector. Looks just like any other connector. Now, I'm going to show you real quick right here. So, on the punch-down tool, it's in the shot. So on the punch-down tool, you have two sides. You have a cutting side, which is this one with the edge on it, a knife, and then the non-cutting side. Now you also have other options on a punch-down tool where there's no cut. Like this piece doesn't cut anything, and that's fine. But that means you have to trim off the edge with a tool. So why do that? So this keystone jack, I'm just going to quickly, you find brown. This is a brown line. You find brown. You pop it in there the way it should go. And you're going to do it dead across. You're not going to punch it down on both sides, but you're going to do it dead across. And then you're going to push it in there as best you can. It should stay. You have to make sure it stays. That one's, yeah, see. This isn't a full line either, so it's a little different. You push it in there. If it's not staying exactly where you want it, just hold it. Then you grab your punch down tool and you always cut to the outside. You notice this line points to the outside, so your cutting edge is outside. You watch your corner, you go in and you punch it. And this is why you use the punch down tool and not that little plastic thing they give you, because listen, it punched. Because you get in there, it's set, and then you punch, and it literally pushes the knife into the plastic to cut the conductor. Same thing here. Push, punch, there you go. And that the extra bit just falls off. Just falls away. Oh, look, in my leather desk, I left little indents. That's cool. That won't go away. It doesn't matter. So, after you've done all of them, that's when you pull the lines. Or if you've done all of one side, you'll pull the lines out where they point down. And then there's a cute little cover they give you like it does anything. What I will typically do is zip tie the line that comes out. You got the line coming out. I'll zip tie that in a circle. Kind of like that. That way, if you pull on it and it breaks, you can cut the zip tie and you have a little slack and you can repunch it. Anyway, that's all you really need to know about those. That's super simple. Don't use the tool they leave in the package. Use an actual punch down tool. It can be mine is Fluke, but I like Klein. I like all of them. It doesn't matter what the name of the brand is. So, Keystone jacks out of the way. So now we're going to go, and I'm not going to do these in, well, okay, we'll do them in color order. You can't see my color order maybe, but if you can, you're not using this for a tutorial video. I'm going to tell you right now, I use Klein tools, and you'll see on there it has a color code, A and B. And that's the way I go. You use those, and you love those. If you don't have this type of tool and you don't want to buy one, get a color chart. I call it a cheat sheet. Yes, it's memorized, but there is no arguing. If your memory was wrong, or if you get a phone call, or you were thinking about an ex, that you mixed up colors. And again, I'm colorblind, so I use the chart to actually help me, because I'll compare the color of my line to that crap. Anyway, so you prep your lines however you prep your lines. It really doesn't matter to me how you prep your lines. If you want some advice, I'll show you one real quick. Give me 2 seconds. So when you do 2 lines, right now I'm working on brown and brown white, or brown and white brown, however you want to word that. What I like to do is pull them away, pull them back, and I'm basically bending the lines both times away from each other, and then straight out. Now, what I'm doing now is the green one, because I just need green, so I'm going to pop green by the brown white, and then I can just wiggle them. And if y'all want, I can make a video of this where it's a much better camera angle. This is just general me talking shit, though. Alright, so I'm doing blue, white, blue. Undo them. Right? And then I'm going to pull them away from each other, and then I'm going to push them away from each other. And then I'm going to pull in the white blue, and then I'm going to solid blue. Same thing, little wiggle, not much, don't need much. Bring in the white green, little wiggle, not much. You're just kind of getting them acquainted to where they should be in life. It's kind of like when you smack your kid. It's like, yeah, we don't do that. We want you here. And then they kind of start learning where they should be in life. Now we're doing orange and white orange. Which typically, I call them tip and ring from how I was trained. It's either, it's orange and then orange tip and ring. Anyway, it's easier to say that than white, orange, orange, white, blue, blue, white, blue, 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 green, all that crap. It's solid orange or orange is another shorthand we used back in the day. So you loosen your wrist up, and then you're going to do the whole length of it. You're not going to use the whole length, but you're going to wiggle it back and forth. I'm going back and forth. That's it, back and forth, side to side, and let go. And you can see it's fairly straight. Now you take your south wire cutters, and you pick a spot. You'll learn where you want to cut when you start doing this. And now I'm not doing anything here except feeling. I'm running my fingers along. Okay, good. There's no barbed edges, because the thing is, these push-through connectors, if there's barbed edges, it's going to stop and not make it. So the push-through, this is what I love. You push through, and you can bring it down. You don't have to be exact or precise with any cut. You bring it down, and you have the shielding inside the connector. So that's the first part I love. Shielding is inside. You didn't have to super measure. All right, I can only cut this much and I can only do that. And oh my God, it's not going to get all the way in. But here's the other part. You see the line sticking out through the connector? I can then hold up my tool and side by side compare them. And I did it backwards. For the video, I did it backwards. Anyway. So you can side by side look at it and be like, okay, yep, those are in the right order. Now, here's the problem. My clip that holds it in should be facing me when I do this. So I've got to pull that back off. You found a problem. You pull it back off. You make sure they're still lined up, and then you have the clip face you. Right now, the clip is facing the ceiling as I push it in. Right order there, and then I push it all the way down, and then I can confirm again. Alright, so we need brown, white, yep, green, yep, blue, white, yep, solid blue, yep, okay, white, green, yep, solid orange, yes, and white, orange, yes. Okay, so they're in the right order. And you have the clip facing you the right way. And then you can cut those off so that you don't have to navigate the entire length of that through your crimper. And then the crimper is just going to cut off the excess. You don't have to go through all that with the double hand stuff. That's just something I do. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. As long as this end is the same as the other end of the cable, it doesn't matter what color order you use. Now, I'm going to tell you the exemption to that. If you use PoE, that is not correct. That statement is completely not correct. The lines inside these are designed to carry PoE, like the brown ones. They're slightly thicker. They don't have the same. They're not clad. They're not, you know, aluminum clad copper. They're solid copper. They specifically are designed with their twists, their length, and everything to carry PoE, as well as orange. Orange is specifically designed to carry, it's not PoE, it's like an alarm repeater thingy. I don't know the term. I don't deal with it, so I don't know. But I know if you're using it for PoE, alarms, or video cameras, you have to do it the way I just showed you, or the way the A or B standard that is on almost any tool, or the cheat sheet you can download, print off, and laminate that will show you the color sequence for A or B. Why? Well, you don't have to use it if it's only internet going to a computer under 200 feet, because it doesn't matter. If it matches on both sides, you have internet. If it doesn't use PoE, it's not even looking at brown and white wherever they should be. As long as they match, you'll be good to go. It's when you start leaving 200 feet that they have to match. It's when you use PoE security cameras or any security stuff that it has to match because it's designed that way. In general, I tell people do it the way the tool tells you to, the manufacturer's instructions. In a pinch, no, you don't have to. Throw it down, pick a color, make it 1, pick another color, make it 2, and just continue. Match it on the other side, you're golden. I used to do it that way 20 years ago. Never had a problem until PoE showed up. And then PoE wouldn't work. Oh, okay, I'll do it the way the tool told me to, and then it started working. If you're doing this for your house and you know it's going to run from your Xbox to your router, go for it. Do whatever color you want. Match it on both sides. The real trick is that the hook, the part that hooks it into your computer or your wall has to be facing you, and the brown should be on the left. But whatever. Do it like you want, but this is how we do the basic stuff. Well, that's going to be the end of this entirely too long video. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if I should shave my entire head. Let me know if I should just go fuck myself. And I'll talk to you next time. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. If you've been with me this long, don't forget to subscribe and like. Bye now.